Oh, bollocks. Oh. Oh. Morning all. Just wanted to make a quick video on past sort of experiences I've noticed. Yeah, I'm looking a bit rough, I'm sorry. I'll show you why in a minute. But yeah, it's come to the terms of there's been a lot of things, and when I mean there's a lot of people who sort of have either sort of had this or treat like friends in the way of, what I'm trying to say is people have different ways of like treating or knowing friends and dealing with friends who sort of go through different parts of my keys. But yeah, it's just best to stay, if you want to, you know, when you start off, what I'm trying to say is when you start off young, you know, you kind of have, you go to school and you meet friends and stuff, and then those friends genuinely throughout the years decide whether, you know, life decides whether, you know, they're your true friends or not. And then that's when you can decide as well whether your friends are going to be true friends or not. And sort of over time you start to realise that, you know, you're moving on in life, and as you move on in life you start meeting more people and you start making new friends, you know. And I think when you start going through periods of life where you're moving on, you start to realise who you can really trust and who's just going to take advantage of you because of you've got more of this and that, and you've got less of they got less of what you've got and stuff like that. And you know, people like that I've had in my life, I've just kind of, you know, just off my page, you know. And it's come to this point of where I started going through ever since leaving home and the whole situation that went on at home, I started feeling like I owed people, you know. And it's not the best feeling you'd need, because I had a lot of queries and stuff. Like when I left home I sort of felt like I owed people money, gifts, all sorts. So then I started going through 2 years of what it'd be called thinking you're a good friend, but actually what's happening in your brain is you're thinking that, oh, I'll buy gifts or I'll lend friends money because I think I'm a good friend. But no, not in that situation, because when you're giving friends money and gifts, you're essentially being a bad friend because you're giving away your savings to give to other people. And that's what I was going through for about 2 years. So I went through like 2 years of, you know, sort of giving away my stuff for other people, you know. Really thing in my eye. So I was going through that sort of stage in my life, and I still go through it now. Like I still get temptations to give friends money and gifts and stuff like that, and it still occurs to me, but you know, I'm just sort of trying to, it feels like it's an addiction in my head and I'm trying to get rid of it, because that's what it feels like at the minute. It feels like an addiction and I need to try and get rid of it. You know, I still get temptations of saying, oh well, you know, do you want me to lend you this and that, but it's like I'm trying to sort of keep it down into one segment of like, you know, if I get temptations I should stop. And that's where it's starting to become too. So I'm trying to sort of stop these temptations. And also as well, I've been, you know, my whole life it's like I've been sugarcoating feelings of friends and stuff, but now I just tell them how it is. You know, if I don't like you, if I think you're a cunt, then you're a cunt. You know, if I You know, if you're just going to take the piss, then I'll say it. You know, there's no need to hide your feelings for someone, or hide or sugarcoat things. You know, people are gonna love you or hate you no matter what. So, you know, stop trying to change yourself to be good for other people. Just be yourself. And you know, if you want to make, you know, if you want to be a good person, then don't let shit friends get you down. You know, because you get sort of friends that are like, oh, you know, I used to like you when you were this, or I used to like you before when you were this, and it's like, well, every 7 years your brain goes through a change. And let me tell you that, like, I've gone through so many changes because of not just the 7 years of changing, but also because of your brain goes through a system where you have to learn your brain. And I know it sounds stupid, but you know, you have to learn your brain. And I've sort of gone through that stage of where I have learned my brain, you know, and I've gone through the system of trying to figure out how to, say, control your brain. I know it sounds like it's already existent, but there's certain parts of where you can't control your brain. And these past few weeks, I've sort of been letting my brain get loose a bit. You know, I started drinking again, and you know, I'm not an alcoholic, but it was just on like a regular, like I started drinking again. But your brain goes through different systems and changes, and in order to make in order to make itself better. But sometimes when you try to get your brain better, it doesn't get any better, you know? What I'm trying to say is, it's like there's different temptations in your life where it's like, you know, 1 minute your brain could be like, oh, we're going to have a healthy living life, and the next stage it's going to be like you're eating shit in a takeaway box, you know? And that's sort of what your life goes through. It's, you know, I'm trying to sort of take control of my brain. I'm trying to learn my brain. And I've gone through different stages of where I've explored the dark parts of my brain, if that makes sense. No? I'll explain it. Basically, these past few weeks I've explored the dark side of my brain, so I've been doing lucid dreaming, which is sort of out of body experiences, actually tapping inside your brain, trying to explore, you know, the deepest parts of your brain, which sort of only appears once every so often in your life, or once so often when you think about it. But I'm just trying to sidechain to deep thoughts as well, which is another thing. Which is, you think of one thing and you're thinking of so many other things that link to it. So if I said the word picture frame, you'd probably be thinking of picture frame because it's an idea in your head that I've implanted in your head. So that's what you think. And, you know, I'm just trying to sort of think of like the deeper parts of, you know, the word picture frame. So it's like there could be a family in the picture frame, there could be a family of five, there could be five faces, one with blonde, one with brown, one with red, one with black, you know. And it's just sort of, you go through these different sort of thoughts, you know, and that's what I'm trying to sort of, I know it's not sort of good because it's classed as overthinking, but if you think about it, it's sometimes best to overthink if you think about it. Yeah, it's but yeah, I'm just gonna, if you want, I'll go for a quick tester and just show you quick sort of idea of how a thought works. So I've got a pen right here. I don't know why I've got a pen here. I think it's a work pen, but hold on. Brain fart. Jesus. Right. Yeah, so I've got a pen here. So say the word pen, paper, ink, plastic, bottles, today's new world, And today's new world revolves around electricity. Electric to use power to use internet, everything else that you see today. And today is just another day where I'll be going to work and I'll be doing stuff, helping customers. Customers are people that help survive, the people that keep shops going, the people that keeps the shop that keeps the market going, the market that keeps the whole world running, because we're still living under the same social life of where stuff from a market costs a lot of money, and in a sense we're living in a world where food is no longer a freedom, you have to pay for it, which is another way of living. And if you think about it, now that we have to pay for food, it's like we're sort of living in a world of where marketing is the next thing, where food is no longer free because it's in packaging and it's being sold for like 99p at a store. You know, you can't get food for free anymore unless it's out of date or it's a few days out of date. And it's just one of those things. Ooh, yeah, I haven't even had breakfast yet, so I don't know why I'm burping. But yeah, when you think about it, it's sort of, I'm just trying to sort of learn my brain. If you understood that whole sort of theory around things, then you're on the right step, you're on the right track. So yeah. But anyway, I think I should end this vlog here. If you want more sort of learning your brain sort of ideas and how things are going with my brain training, then I will let you know, and I'll make another vlog of more brain training soon, I suppose, whenever I get time. I mean, I've got tomorrow off, so we're working this whole week, you know. Like, my boss has been away and I've technically been a manager of a shop, you know, and that's another thing as well. I went out for a walk with one of the staff here, and he said to me, he said, "You're so lucky at your age. You're only 21 and already you're like a semi-manager of a shop. So it's like you're an assistant manager of a shop and you're doing a bloody damn good job." You know, a lot of 21-year-olds would dream of having a job like that, but when you're assistant manager of a small shop, it's kind of makes me feel how lucky I am, you know, how privileged I am. I mean, you know, I've gone through shit, but I'm actually really fucking lucky. I'm living this sort of life. I'm living a life where a 21-year-old probably wouldn't be doing today. Like, I'm semi-homeless. I'm living in a bloody hostel, and I'm an assistant manager of a shop. You know, it's life's a crazy roller coaster. You know, and you just got to take step by step, bit by bit, and you know, you'll slowly get there in the end. Life's not always about being successful. It's just an adventure. You just got to follow the path.